If they do that, they're going to be very, 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 very tough to beat.
Wilson! Oh! And we are tied!
Let's go! Call them Phi Slamma Jamma.
And I don't ever let them forget where we come from.
Getting those phones out. Report me acting ignorant.
Zion Kris got his way through, and he may go! Kris is in! Houston leads out of nowhere! Seventh heaven for Houston. The Cougars advance to their seventh Final Four. Go Coogs! Let's go! It's so good! The dream remains alive for the Houston Cougars!
The dream remains alive for the Houston Cougars that are now bowl eligible following a 31-28 victory over the Arizona Wildcats. For the first time since 2022, your University of Houston Cougars football team is heading bowling this December. And what a win. Well, Kris, I'm gonna take it. This is my opinion. The most impressive win so far for Houston so far this year. Now, granted, it was far from perfect. There were little things that Houston has to clean up here and there, but by far they're tough opponents that they've defeated so far this season. They came through, and quite frankly, this is the best game the offense has had so far this season, not in terms of points put up, but I just feel like that second half, even the final drive that they put together right before halftime, they were pretty much doing anything that they wanted to against Arizona's defense. And quite frankly, Dean Connors and Connor Wegman, they made it look easy, especially on the ground. They were carving up that Arizona defense. What say you? What you think about this game? And first and foremost, how are you, I should say?
I'm doing great. I'm curious. I'm looking at this E.I. Crabtree. What is that? Is that a catfish? What is that in the O? That's like an O for Go Cougs. It's neat though, whatever it is.
Let's make it big. It's a fish.
Wow. That's a new one. Excellent. I'm doing great, Andy. This game was interesting. Both offenses played well. Neither defense. I think the offenses were ahead of the defenses on both sides pretty much the entire game. And it came down to which team had the ball last. And fortunately, it was the Cougs for us and Les Rage Cougs. And Ethan Sanchez was a little closer in and made the game-winning field goal to get the victory. But the offenses, both teams threw the ball for like 11 yards per completion. Cougars were ground and pound with Connor Wegman and Dean Connors. It was an offensive game if you liked teams to grind out the clock and have long possessions. That was what the second half was. If you liked a lot of defense and getting stops, and then today really wasn't a game for you. But the Cougs won. A win is a win. They're 6-1. They're bowl eligible 6-1 after 7 games in year 2 under Coach Willie Fritz. He is the right person for this job. He continues proving it each week. And I mean, I thought they could go 6-6 this year. So they're ahead of that pace for sure. I mean, let's enjoy it. Yes, there were the defense, some injuries and things like that could have been factors. But I mean, salute to Noah, the quarterback for Arizona. He played well. I mean, his numbers were impressive. Both offenses lit it up.
Yeah.
Noah Fafita, 24 for 26 for 269. He did a great job.
92% on his completion percentage.
So, I mean, this is just one of those games. Both offenses played better than the defense. But the Cougs still won. And that's what matters.
Yes, sir. Let's look at these final stats. Connor Wegman, he had himself a game too. When you look at his passing numbers, 15 for 23, 164 yards, threw for 3 passing touchdowns. Dean Connors led the way in rushing for Houston, 20 carries, 100 yards. Connor Wegman right behind him when it came to rushing, 14 runs by him. He had 98 total rushing yards, scored a rushing touchdown as well. Tanner Kozio led the team in catches, 6 catches for 40 yards. He had a touchdown. Amari Thomas continues to have his stellar season with 4 catches for 69 yards. He had 2 touchdowns, and this was the same Houston Cougars team that the offense, right? They were missing a key piece in Stephon Johnson heading into this game. And, they still found a way to overcome next man up. We saw a lot of big plays from Harvey Broussard, from Kobe Young, and you're starting to see Connor Wegman get a lot more comfortable with this team. And as we welcome in Dayon. But I think, yes, you're right, Chris. You hit the nail right on the head in terms of the defense and how they struggled. I think this win, it makes it that much more impressive that for the first time, at least in this game, right, that the offense was able to step up, make big plays. They were in a hole early. Like Arizona came out of the gate swinging. They made it look easy on their first few drives. And then the offense was like, yo, it's okay. We got it. We were able to come back, overcome, shake that off, which last year would not have been the case with this Houston Cougars team. And it's another testament to what Willie Fritz has done with this program and the coaching staff.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, the offense, there was no offense last year.
Mm-hmm.
Joseph Duarte said, I think, wrote earlier in the week that this year's team has already scored more points than last year's team did the entire season. And that was before today. So the offense is light years ahead of what it was last year. And they did what it takes to win the game. We can, hey, the defense took some bad angles. Kudos to Arizona and their receivers on the outside as well. But came down to the Cougs had the ball last, and they did what it took to win the game. I mean, Arizona second half didn't stop the Cougs.
Nope.
Ethan Sanchez missed a field goal. That was it. So it wasn't really a question of would the Cougs march down the field in that last drive. It was how close would they get, and would they score a touchdown? And they got a field goal, got within range for Easton to win it on a 40-yard
controlled the
field
game
goal.
clock. Yeah, they were able to pick up the first down because if they would have stalled and Arizona would have been able to get the ball back with a minute plus left, then, the defense would have to have one more stop. The offense took care of it, didn't even give Arizona the ball back at the end.
Dan, how you doing, man?
Oh, man, I'm doing well. How about
What are
you
your thoughts on
guys?
it, brother?
We're doing
I mean,
great.
good dubs, like you said. I mean, doing what it takes to win the game. Kind of shorten the game in that second half, one drive each team. Last possession, getting a 4-minute offense. I think it was under three something on the clock. Get down
Mm-hmm.
the field, get right in the field goal range. I mean, exactly what you need to do to win. And kind of like you guys said, I mean, just kind of piggyback on that point. I mean, it was really predicated on not having a quarterback that can really give us a passing threat last year. So having that ability, big plays to start the game, and then you look at last week against Arizona, what they put on film. Quarterback ran it like 20 times for BYU, and they had success. Kind of duplicated that, had his own success around the ground with Connors as well. So I mean, it was a good hard-fought win. For sure.
And the O-line is much more effective run blocking than they are in pass protection. But they can run block. I mean, they made holes today. So kudos to them. I've been critical of them for a lot of this season, honestly, rightly so, for many times in pass protection. But today, what the Cougs average on the ground? What was it? 5.2 yards to carry. I mean, you take that, man, all day.
Yeah, 5.2 yards per carry, which is absurd. And then, Dayon, you mentioned it in our weekly preview. You talked about how there was susceptible with how BYU was able to find success against Arizona, and Houston found the exact same success today against the Wildcats themselves.
And it was kind of to your point when you talked about throwing to running that big play early to start the game, which kind of put Arizona on their heels, letting them know that hey, they can open up the offense. They have threats on the outside, constantly threatening with Broussard down the field. Kobe Bryant had a good slant inside, and Cozier is going to do what he do. He's a matchup mismatch pretty much on anyone that's guarding him, and so. I liked it. I mean, like Crabtree's comment. I mean, still getting better week by week, and so as long as they continue to do that, go 1-0 week by week, it's no reason why they can't continue to stack these wins and compete for a conference championship.
And
NRG Texans comment. Go ahead,
that's
Chris.
the objective, really. I mean, this today offensively was probably what Coach Fritz really wants, with some ground and pound, but mix it up with the threat of offense. And the offense did well in the receiving game without Boogie Johnson. So that's a positive going forward. They still were able to get threats downfield, but still run the ball with Connor Wegman and Dean Connors when Arizona knew the run was coming, and they still couldn't stop it. So that's a plus.
Yep, and to that comment from Mr. Texto, I mean, that's just good coaching. You see what's on film. If they stay in that three-man front, then you do what works. You don't get away from it. You don't get cute. So that's just great coaching, great execution by the team as well to execute that and forcing them like, hey, okay, you're going to stay in this three-man front, but we got favorable matchups to hold, and we gassed them.
And that's it. They all said it right there. Don't get cute. They're going to stay in that three-man front all day? Okay, fine. We are going to pound the ball at you for the whole second half. Thank you very much. That's what Houston did. Big boy football, grown man football, whatever you want to say. And it was successful, victorious, and the Cougs are 6-1. Now, like I said before, Brother Deion joined. After 7 games, you'd have told me the Cougs would be 6-1, I would ask you to let me have some what you're smoking. But they are 6-1, and they are bowl eligible already. Outstanding. And as Deion said, what was it, 2 weeks ago? They still have a chance to be in the Big 12 championship game. Just take care of business. They have to play better. We understand that. It's all about getting better week to week. And Rook Brown. Hold up. Before we get to Rook Brown, I would like to hear an explanation on why the officials decided not to call that illegal procedure on Dean Connors.
I love the home cooking. We got a couple.
Thank you, brother. There was a couple of them,
man. It, man. We needed it. I'm glad we needed it, man.
I'm not mad at it. But I mean, we all saw Dean was moving, going forward, and the ref said, "Oh no, never mind." Huh? Okay. Thank you, though.
Hey, refs was ready to go.
Clearly, I guess they had a plane to catch or whatever. But I'll take the win, man. So no worries about it. So if anybody from Arizona is watching the game and thinking, y'all aren't going to, yes, we are. We tell like it is. So that was a gift, man. Clearly. Hey, whatever you want to call it, home cooking, whatever, we could look at it like this. That could be another sign of winning teams get those breaks, get those calls. I'll take it like that too. It seems that bad luck follows bad teams. Bad teams don't get those breaks. Let's go like that.
I agree. That's a good point. I agree.
Good to be on this side of it. Yeah.
But Rook Brown, man, he was everywhere. He was everywhere. And good for him. He made big plays with career highs and with sacks, tackles for loss. He was everywhere. And it was the correct call to not call targeting, but it was good that they decided it wasn't targeting because Coogs would have missed him.
Yeah, for sure. 9 total tackles, 1.5 sacks, 3.5 tackles for loss. He was all over the place.
But yeah, and CA37 right on the pass interference call. One of them, I was like, okay on that too. But
on Latrell McCutcheon, on Trayvon McCutcheon.
But yeah, it was some. I mean, even the catch by Broussard, I thought he bobbled the ball before he pulled it in.
Yes. And it looked like his knee was down right before he
secured it. Yeah,
Yep. But
whatever. Take that too. Yeah.
Real quickly, let's first and foremost thank everybody that's taking the time on their Saturday afternoon to join us here. It's currently 2:56 Central Time. If you're watching us live after the University of Houston Cougars pick up their 6th win of the season, 31-28 over Arizona. We'd like to say thank you to our sponsors for this edition of Let's Rage Coogs, beginning with Steve Saxenian, the primary sponsor of not only this edition of LRC, but each and every single post-game show for every game this football season. This is Let's Rage Coogs presented by the Saxenian Family. And of course, we also like to say thank you to Star Pizza. Big shout out to Mike and Jennifer Pittman with 3 different locations throughout the Houston area. Star Pizza is your go-to stop before or after the game. Be sure to check them out online at starpizza.net and follow them on their social media platforms at starpizzahou. Kris, down. Let's see if we have a snippet. Let's hear what Willie Fritz had to say following Houston's win. Let me give me a second to do this real quick, and let's hear what head coach Willie Fritz had to say. A snippet of what he had to say, courtesy of UH Athletics. Oh, give me a second. And here's head coach Willie Fritz and what he had to say following Houston's win.
Move the ball down the field there, that last drive, on the ground. What does that say about, your unit and
Well, we're running the ball better. We're doing a much better job running the football. We've struggled with it. They've done a pretty good job of playing good run defense here lately. I thought Coach Nigel called an outstanding game. Really kept them off balance with run pass. Connor, I thought, had some big throws. The one to Tanner, the one to Amari in the end zone. He ran the ball really well, Connor Wigman, and then Dean Connors, I thought, ran the ball with a lot of power and hitting it vertical. So often backs want to pop it outside, and he saw the crease and he ran behind his pads. But you can't do nothing without the offensive line, the tight ends, and the receivers blocking downfield. And I thought all those areas they did an outstanding job.
Willie, you had a 13-play drive, another 17-play that ate up a lot of time. Did you go into it with the options that you were going to run and like with the quarterback design runs, that kind of stuff?
We always want to be able to run the football. Some games we're successful with it, and there's some that we have a little difficulty. But, I think we did not start the game off very well. Defensively, we didn't start the game off very well. Pretty quickly, we're down 14-zip. But, boy, we started the second half well. We had the ball for, I believe, 9 minutes. Is that correct? With the opening drive of the second half. And, you play great defense when you're not out there on the field, when your offense is out there. So, super job. I thought, that quarterback's a really good football player. He's very nimble. He's hard to get down. I know he's not a real big guy, very accurate. I think in the first half, he was 13 of 14, 170-some yards. And he can run. He looks like he'd be easy to take down, but he's difficult to take down. So he's a very good football player. We thought he was good coming in. He's better than I thought he was.
How instrumental was Rook Brown's energy to, you talked about those 14 points he gave up early and then kept stopping them after that. How instrumental was Rook Brown?
He did a great job. I thought he tackled well. He blitzed well. He had some good coverage. We were disappointed in how he tackled. Throughout the game, some of the guys just did not tackle as well as they normally do. But Rook seemed to tackle well throughout the ball game. And we got to go back to. I thought we tackled pretty good last week, and we got to get back to tackling, efficiently.
Willie, right there before halftime, your defense makes a key fourth down stop where you get the ball back and then you turn around and score. How big was that shift right there going into halftime, knowing you had the ball to begin the second half?
I think it was huge. We going 21-14. We drive down the field and, 9-minute drive, 28-14. But give them credit. They came back. They didn't quit. They kept fighting and came back and made it a hell of a ball game.
Willie, Connor's ability to keep plays alive on that second touchdown to Amari, he scrambled around for a while.
I didn't know where he's going with it. And it found its way to Amari. It was a heck of a play, and he keeps his eyes downfield, and like you said, he probably doesn't give enough credit for his feet. He's got quick feet, good movement. Excellent job by him.
Willie, on that final drive, how comfortable are you playing for a field goal when you have someone like Ethan back there?
Very comfortable. We wanted to get the ball. The first one was the 30. We were kicking into a little bit of a wind, and he was spot on with the accuracy. He just didn't have enough leg on it. So I was we knew if we get the ball, we had got it to the 23, and I thought he did a hell of a job knocking it through the pipes.
So once again, that was Houston Cougars head coach Willie Fritz. Post game, I know we have the photo queued up. You can see right there what he was sporting in the press conference. He's got a bowl bound. He's sporting. Willie Fritz is celebrating the fact that the Houston Cougars are bowl eligible for the first time since 2022. And let me find it here real quick. Let's get a better look at that shirt. Bowl bound 2025. They had that ready to go. Kris, what are your thoughts on the shirt? Down. I like it. It looks pretty tough. I'm not gonna lie.
I like it. Let me see something here. I could make it bigger, but what happened to it there? Did you do that, Andy?
Oh yes.
Okay, no, it's all right. I mean, yeah, we could saw it in Coach's post game comments and stuff as well. But
here we go. That courtesy of Joseph Duarte, who tweeted it. Get a full look of it.
But hey, I mean, 7 games in, you're bowl bound. I'll take it. We'll all take it. And this is year 2, and it's another example of Coach Fritz and his establishing a winning culture and building and being successful in his second year in a program. He's done it again.
And that's a great comment from Wanda Polk. She said, check your emails because they just sent information about the bowl game, and she's absolutely right. Look at U of H being on top of their stuff. They're let me see if I can share this.
While you do work on that, I love the shirt. I love celebrating the bowl bound. I think we talked about that last week, and that's one small victory. I don't want to say small victory, just a victory and a goal achieved coming into the season. One of them is being bowl eligible. Now you celebrate that, and you don't stop there. Now our next goal is let's continue for the conference championship. Let's keep going 1-0. And the chips fall where they may beat by you, maybe takes a loss. We went out. You never know, we might have that rematch. So I love that. I love that. Celebrate those victories and being bowl eligible, and that's solidifying. I don't want to say solidifying because anything could happen, but that's almost a winning season.
It's a step and a sign of the hard work paying off, and I'm glad to see UH Athletics being proactive and having that email ready.
Yeah, let's look at this.
Because time and time again, CougarNet has not been a good thing sometimes. So
no, they have not been proactive in the past, and look at them.
And it's right because was it after the loss to Texas Tech? Yeah, that disaster.
But at least you know what, that shows their ambition. They were ready to go. And she's absolutely right. Look at that. It's very easy to read. They have that Houston will know what bowl they're going to December 7th. Cougar Pride members will have a pre-sale December 7th through 9th. And then the public on sale will begin on December 10th. So, and look at that. They're even plugging 2026 football season tickets. So, yeah, I'm impressed. This is kudos. They even have a link to buy tickets for this season schedule shop. Good job to the marketing department, all those involved with putting this together. Like you said, UH being proactive instead of reactive. They had that ready to go.
And
hopefully that's showing the expectation to win, and that shows a new administration and have charge now. Is what I'm trying to say. But that's like, hey, we're expecting to win this game. When we win this game, let's have this ready to go. As soon as we win, let's roll it out. And so I love that. I mean, it's a new time for Houston, and I'm loving it.
And it's to add to what Brother Dayon said, it's also being accountable, expecting to win, new leadership. And I'm going to say this now, it's a different sport, but I think the majority of everybody watching Let's Rage Cougs are Cougars. I'm hoping, I was told I should have some more info on Monday about food improvements for the women's games too, at Fertitta Center. I should get more details, specifics on that on Monday. So I was asked that. I think Nita asked me that. I saw her comment. I think, well, you follow the Houston Round Bar Review. I should have some good news to share with you about that before I head to Big 12 Media Day Monday night for Tuesday morning. So that's a plus. Another example of finally acting like a big-time program. Because for a while there, we didn't do that.
Not only that, that's being attentive to your fan base. I mean, knowing what's being said, knowing what needs to be improved, and so that's a lot of good signs, a lot of good things for doing.
Exactly. Oh, thank you very much, Giovanni. That's a new name too. Andy, you know that person?
I do not, but they said Dirty Sanchez for the win.
So excellent. You know, appreciate that. All right.
He's got the iron leg.
And I mean, we're being selfish now. Let's be real. Let's keep it a buck. When the Cougs win, it helps us too, because more fans tune in to post-game shows, and they're talking positive rather than, the negative folks coming in and saying, man, I don't know what happened today. We lost again. I'm not going to watch the show. I'm only going to do it when the Cougs win. So I'll see y'all when they start winning. Well, they're winning. So that's a plus for us too.
Yes, sir. And well, we have a couple different things we could do. We have Rook Brown spoke to the media after his big game. I want to read this comment real quick. This is not from YouTube, but this is on X at Coogs. Steve said, strange feeling watching a 9-minute, 17-play drive, marching down the field at the end of both halves to go ahead and score big touchdowns. He said it's sexy. It's a big difference from where, again, this program was just a year ago. And again, like we mentioned in previous shows, that the best football for this team, which is what makes it real exciting, is it's still ahead of them. This is a team that keeps growing and growing and growing, and we're seeing that improvement week in and week out.
And to add to that, this is, I think, we're starting to see it. It's happening kind of quicker than we thought. At least I thought. Coach Fritz is winning with, I know coaches don't care. Fans care more about it, the stars and stuff like that, about players. But Coach Fritz is winning with guys who aren't as talented and maybe as pro potential as what players are looking at for next year's team and teams down the line. So imagine Coach Fritz with the winning culture and the winning foundation, winning fundamentals with guys who are bigger, stronger, faster.
Yeah. I agreed. And I think just in staff as well. I think his leadership with the staff, he gave credit to the offensive coordinator for the game he called, and he did call a tremendous game, keeping them off balance. When they can't stop the run, we're sprinkling in a little bit of pass. And so, I mean, it was a well called game. And all around from Coach Fritz. I mean, he's done a good job. And like Chris is kind of alluding to with more talented players coming out of high school. And I mean, you never know how they pan out, but like Chris was saying, they could potentially have even more pro potential with some of those highly talented recruits. But even with that, I mean, winning with playing complementary football, good football, offense helping the defense helping the offense. And so slow start, offense picking them back up. And so it's good to see. I mean, the best football is definitely had. And it's just a difference when you actually got a quarterback that can throw the football. That's a big difference.
Yeah.
For sure. And I see Thomas's comment, you should always do spell check. Always do spell check. I rush things out sometimes, and of course when I rush it, a spell check bites me in the butt. I was like, but yeah. So I before E except after C. Receive. Good catch there, Thomas. Which one of the Cougs?
Oh, that's a new name too.
Tanner Kojo for sure.
Tanner Kojo and Amari Thomas.
Defense, come on down.
Connor Wegman. I think he throw him in there as well. He's a better passer than Clayton Tune. I mean, I don't even think that's close. In my opinion, specifically, Clayton made it to the NFL. I'll put Connor in there. I'll put Carlos Allen in there. Even the Travion McCutcheon. I think we got some NFL prospects on this team for sure.
Yeah, those guys. Well, we're talking what? Second, third, fourth rounders, maybe fifth rounders.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the future, I think you're going to have some first round prospects playing for the Cougs. It's all part of building a foundation, establishing that foundation. And this is great. This is just year 2. a bright future for this program.
That being said, let's check out what Brooke Brown had to say following his big performance against our.
Just we saw Coach in here with the bowl bound shirt. What is that? What's the locker room like first with the way y'all won, and then secondly to be able to say that you're at the 6 wins to go to a bowl.
Yeah, everybody was super excited in there, and it's pretty early in the season to be bowl bound already, but there's a lot more season left, and we got some bigger goals. So, but we were excited in there. Everybody was juiced.
Your teammates said this week that it's just one step or one check mark on the list. Is it good to get something like that out of the way so that you have bigger goals, so that you can sort of maybe not focus on that and just kind of play out the rest of the season?
Yes, I would say maybe like a relief. We're just doing what we plan to do, and it's kind of aligning with our goals at this point. We got to keep going, but this is kind of where we're expecting to be before the season. So have to keep working hard.
Brooke, it felt like you guys kind of had Fafita sacked and then just let him slip even on that early touchdown. What was it like getting those 2 sacks in a row to kind of spark that defense?
Yeah, it's he's a really good player. He's slippery. It's hard to bring down. So, the coaches Armstrong and safety coach CY do a good job of bringing the blitzes. So, I think when you get him and surprise him, he doesn't see you coming, you got to capitalize on that.
The energy you play with, I mean, how important is that to, sort of get guys going to, bring that kind of energy?
Yeah. I mean, the whole building has a whole bunch of juice and energy. Armstrong, the DC, talks about being hungry, how you always have to be hungry, and CY, my position coach, is he's always saying we got to get in the jungle. So we're always trying to be in the jungle and see what kind of animal in the jungle we're going to be. So everybody does a good job bringing the juice. It's collective. People, I think we feed off of each other.
So how much of a jungle was that 3rd and 4th down plays there at the end of the first half where y'all came up with the stop?
Yes, that was awesome. Everybody was super excited. Everybody's excited to celebrate with their teammates. It's good.
You think that changed momentum a little bit? Because when you scored right after that.
I think anytime you can get off the field on defense and then the offense go down and score, that can you'll have some momentum after that. So that was it was good. It's something to be excited about.
What was running through your mind? Offenses, time-consuming drives all day long. They're on the field that go. Kick doesn't go, you got to get back on the football field. Kick goes, you win. I mean, that had to be kind of a bizarro time for you guys as a good defensive group.
Yeah, the coaches do a great job of trying to keep us level, and we were preparing. The whole defense was ready to go back out there and play defense, just because the coaches had us in that mode. But full faith in Sanchez, great kicker, but we were ready to go back out there.
What was it that, being part of a celebration like that, you have Ethan jumped in the stands and I don't know if you saw that, and everything. What is that? What's that moment like?
That's just, you spend a lot more time working and practicing and lifting weights than you do playing the game. And then that's one of those moments, you get, you're guaranteed 12 opportunities a year to experience something like that. So those are some of the moments when you think, man, this is all worth it. So it was a great moment.
I forgot to unmute. Once again, that was Brooke Brown speaking following his big performance against Arizona, and like I just said, his smile that says it all in terms of his performance and really for Houston, the how much that win means for them. I liked the quote that he said. Right, it's just one of their goals. They still want to accomplish a lot more this season. Only had 12 guaranteed wins, and now they're guaranteed one extra on top of that. And they're not satisfied yet. It's just the way he treated it made it seem like it was just a check on the box. Now they're on to the next thing.
And that's what it should be. That's the mindset Coach Fritz and the staff have established. And Deion touched on it earlier in the show. It's just one goal that's being accomplished. There are more goals left to accomplish this season.
I mean, speaking of that, look at E.I. Crabtree's comment. I think it's doable. I mean, look at Arizona State. I mean, if they're depending on the health of their quarterback, without their starting quarterback, they're a totally different team. But even with their sort of starting quarterback, they're a team that I definitely think we can compete with, and I definitely think we can win. Definitely think we can beat West Virginia and UCF. We've beat Baylor and TCU as well. And so I think all these games with the football team that we put on the field on display so far through the season, I expect for us to compete and be in these games, and I think they're all winnable games.
Yeah, next week's the toughest test left, at least on paper, right? Have to go on the road at Arizona State, and they have a big game this week too. So we will see. I think Houston has a really good chance to make some noise and potentially, have a viable path to Arlington in December.
And the team has a shot. They have a chance.
Yep.
In those next 5 games, and that's a big step right there in the evolution of this program. It's the team is getting to a point where they expect to win, but for the fans can start believing that their team has a chance to win. And then you add to it, I mean, Coach Fritz has said it a few times, we're not good enough yet to play poorly, to don't play, strong fundamentally, and, show up and beat teams. But they're winning games right now, and they're finding ways to win. So they got 5 more games, and they have a chance to win those 5 games. They're going to have to do things necessary to win. They can't turn it over, shoot themselves in the foot, have blown assignments, things like that, little things, but they have a chance to win these games.
We'll be favored probably in 2 of those games, maybe even 3. And so, I mean, like Chris said, I mean, we definitely have a shot to win the game. I mean, I have an expectation of to win the game. You look like today, no turnovers. They're just playing clean football, not beating ourselves, Coogs beating Coogs, like Coach Fritz has put out there that phrase, and I love it. And that's type of football that we play, and we've shown that we can win in multitude of ways, whether that's needing to throw to score or that's grounding out the clock and running the football. And now teams have to really put in the count when we make Connor as a runner, getting that extra block, playing 11 on 11. So that's just another form of football that brand that we can play. We bring up an extra player in the box. We showed Mario Thomas he could be man-to-man coverage. He could be zone coverage. And even some of our other receivers as well. And then Tanner Cozio, I mean, I really like the way that we're looking and how we're being able to win in different ways.
And as far as a comment regarding one of the incoming receivers flipping to the Aggies, anything is possible. I don't. When they become Cougs, they're Cougs. Up until that point, I'm not going to trip over it because there probably are some players right now who have verbally committed to somebody else who are going to change their mind and come here. So, I'm not going to worry about it until they become Cougs.
We have one more post-game press coverage commentary to hear from. It's Amari Thomas. Let's hear what he had to say following Houston's 31-28 win over Arizona.
Hey, Amari.
What was that?
Let's just start with what was the atmosphere like in the locker room. Coach has the shirt on. I don't know if everybody got a shirt, but just knowing that you're going to a bowl game.
It was crazy. I mean, it's exciting. We 6-1. It's just exciting. This is my first bowl game since I've been in college, so I'm very excited.
All right, going back to that third quarter touchdown catch from Connor, what's it like just watching Connor kind of escape that pressure to find you in that end zone?
It's crazy because you never know what he might do. The play's never over with him back there, so you got to stay alive and find you a hole, and he'll find you.
Offensive response. You guys had that last week against Oklahoma State, then again today. What do you think has kind of changed to allow you guys to start faster like this offensively?
We just emphasize it in practice. If we start fast, I mean, we're as good as we can be. So yeah.
Mark, are you conscious of that Connor could scramble around, you still got to find a spot, and how is that connection in between you guys built?
Yeah, I'm very conscious of that. Knowing that he can do all that, just whenever we lock eyes, if I'm open, he's throwing it. So just knowing that he can come whenever, just be having mind of that.
What was that? Being a part of a celebration like that on the field, you got. I mean, Ethan jumped in the stands. You got a lot of stuff going on. What was that like? What was your favorite part of that celebration?
I'll probably say when we all ran on the field after Sanchez made the field goal. I mean, I don't know about everybody else, but when he went out there, I kind of feel like I knew it was going in. So it was just fun. It's just exciting being in the moment.
Maury, when you have games like this one, the Oregon State game, can you sometimes feel in there that it's something special maybe is happening? I mean, I know it's a lot of season left, but these type of wins that are going in your favor, that sort of is, it's making for some interesting conversation as y'all go like bowl games, stuff like that.
Yeah, I do. You can feel it, but also we work for it. So it's just like this is the outcome when you work hard. So, yeah.
Last one, Kris. The outcome for when you work hard. We're not going to hear a press conference from Connor Wegman, what he had to say, but this is a quote coming directly from the press conference that Wegman said, and it connects with Amari Thomas's comment. And Wegman said, "We win these games with our practice habits throughout the week." So this is a team hearing really from both Rook, Amari, and that quote from Connor as well. Like, this is a team that's fully bought in and invested in the message that's being put out by Coach Willie Fritz and the staff.
Agreed. And I think that's part of establishing that culture, being accountable. Cougs don't be Cougs. And we see it from really on a good end from winning programs. They sound the same. They repeat that same winning message. We put in the work. We work hard. We take it game by game. I mean, it's boring, it's cliched and all those things, but in the end, it's what winners do. They find ways to win. They don't beat themselves. They get it done in practice. They're not surprised when the hard work pays off. All those things we hear before were not, well, never mind. Go ahead, Dayon.
I mean, well, exactly what you just said last, and what E.R. Crabtree's comment, the hard work pays off. That's what stood out to me. Everyone kind of talked about the work that they've been putting in, and how the fruit of that is to win. And so when now you like to go into the culture, you build that culture and understand your hard work can pay off game in, game out. Listen to coaching, progress week by week, 1-0 game every week. And then you never know what can happen. And so I love that. That's what stood out to me with Amari Thomas' comment. I mean, yeah, comments is we worked hard, we worked for this. And being able to enjoy it, be in the moment, it feels good. And with the practice, he talked about practice. I mean, practice is important. Building good practice habits. We hear it all the time in men's basketball. And I saw the comment from have an LRC after the scrimmage. Probably not, because we don't know the results of the scrimmage, so it won't really be too much for us to talk about. But hard work pays off, man. I love. It's a culture shifter, man. After that game against Oregon State, for me, I mean that was a true culture shifter win, and I'm a true believer in Coach Fritz and staff, and even in this football team this year, what they can accomplish.
Kris, do you know that exhibition's going to get live streamed somewhere?
Last I heard on Monday, it was not going to be televised. It won't be live streamed. So I don't know if you're going to be there in Fort Bend, Rosenberg. I have not put in a request for a credential yet. I'm not sure I'm going to be there. So if we're not there, it's kind of hard to do an LRC with something we haven't seen. So, and I haven't heard. Not true. I have not tried to contact anyone regarding today's scrimmage against Ole Miss. All I really care about is if anybody got hurt. Beyond that, whatever. But scrimmage today against Ole Miss happened in or taking place. I'm not sure what. I think it was
around. Were they in New Orleans?
It was in New Orleans, and then exhibition game against Mississippi State next Sunday, the 26th, is in Rosenberg, and that's a good drive. Got to work in the morning. I'm not sure. 6:30. It's not too bad, but I haven't decided. Honestly, I've not even received anything about requesting a credential for it. Honestly, so I could reach out to them, but I have not got an email or anything to submit a request to cover the game. 2 games, really.
We shall see how it pans out. Whatever we do, we'll certainly put the word out there if we do end up going to Rosenberg. But kind of shifting back to football, yeah, Crabtree's comment loves the Coach Fritz culture. You really see it again, win or lose, and that is the big thing right there. I'll never forget again when they lost to Texas Tech. One, how ticked off the players were about that loss, but immediately they wanted to run it back. If they would have had the option to play Texas Tech right then and there, they would have done it. And that's the hunger and the motivation that these players have, which you love to see, because not all teams have that type of culture.
And CA37, the question about Carlisle he got 4 games to use before he can, so yeah, it wasn't a waste.
I kind of feel like it was a waste because I feel like early in the season, some of the other games, he's better moments that you could have got a better read or got him a better look. But I mean, I wouldn't say it's a waste. I agree with you, Chris. I just think it was a different opportunity. Probably the same.
I think it was a blown opportunity earlier in the season. Yeah,
That's probably what I mean. Yeah.
He's got 3 more, and I doubt it, but the talent is getting better on paper because they still got to get it done in college, clearly.
Yeah.
But you're seeing the hard work pay off, and you're seeing a shift in expectations and mentality. I think fans are starting to believe. Let me say this. We're all Coogs. We all love the Coogs. 11 a.m. starts against a non-Texas team, a team from the state of Texas. That's not going to draw well here in Houston. Just not. Just not going to do it.
But that's that way. On that topic, let's the official attendance. Let me find it real quick because it came across my timeline. This is from Joseph George of the Houston Chronicle. He sent out the tweets.
It was announced 28,535.
Correct. 28,535. And they were comparing it. Some of the coup forms. It's equivalent to kind of what they were drawing when they were playing some of the American Athletic Conference opponents. The UH fans within themselves are not happy with that number, but like you said, Chris, 11 a.m. kickoff on a hot and humid day. Not that should be an excuse, but not a pretty number, especially considering that it's homecoming.
Well, I mean,
it's opponent like 2,000 or 3,000 outside stadium.
And the opponent's not from Texas. It's not an old Southwest Conference rival. All those things factor into fans wanting to go to the game. So those factors, Fox, FS1, I think it'd have been more folks attending the game if it was 7:00 tonight rather than 11 o'clock in the morning. That didn't help.
Agreed.
For sure. And honestly, 11 a.m. for homecoming, I want to have fun, man. I'm going to have fun and then get to the game kind of feeling good.
The conference kind of screwed Houston with that. But I'm curious if, this is what if, it's all hypothetical, but I wonder if they would have put Houston, Texas Tech at the 11 a.m. slot, kind of what the attendance would have been for that game. I'm kind of curious what that would have been.
It would have been more people at the game, even if there had been Tech fans, but it would have been more folks inside the stadium.
You think they would have sold out like they did?
I think so.
It would have been announced to sell out for sure.
Opponent, yeah, I think this opponent ranked. We were undefeated. All the different factors that went into that game.
Meanwhile, real quick, the Houston Cougars won, so that means Willie Fritz got a crowd. That's culture right there. After every win, head coach Willie Fritz has started a tradition going back to his previous stops, but they love to crowd surf, and it's always good to see that Houston locker room and that new facility that they put out.
And that means it's a win, so I like that. And we're going to see. I expect to see that more and more in the near future.
And that being said, real quickly, Houston's next opponent next week, obviously Arizona State, currently in a battle with Texas Tech. They're scoreless, tied scoreless, 5:51 through the first quarter. So that will be an interesting matchup. Obviously, Texas Tech playing without their starting quarterback in that game, but it'll be intriguing to see how that plays out for Houston's next opponent. That being said, any final things that y'all want to touch on? Any player that stood out to you, or a play as we wrap things up here when it comes to Houston and Arizona?
Cougs are bowl eligible after 7 games. I'll take that. I was glad to be wrong. I'm glad to be wrong. Like I said, I thought the Cougs would go to a bowl this year, but probably be 6-6. They're going to be better than 6-6. I'm convinced of that. Connor Wegman makes a huge difference in the offense. The offense is getting better. I think the program, the culture, and the foundation is being established, and we just have to keep building. And next Saturday's game is 7 o'clock? I think that's right.
7:30. I think it might be 7:30. Let me double check real quick.
So that should be a good one. But winning days for football are here. Winning days for men's basketball are here. Winning days for women's basketball is around the corner. And then we got to get everything else winning, like baseball and other sports on campus, to start pulling their weight. But as always, thank you, everybody, for watching the show, your comments and questions. For the Houston Roundball Review YouTube members, I'm doing my first official live stream show at 7 o'clock this evening for members only. And be sure you watch that show if you are a member, because I'm going to announce the perk via Star Pizza.
Tune in. And real quickly, to just to confirm, yes, next week will be a 7 p.m. kickoff, Houston, Arizona.
For me, man, I think that Connor Wegman, Thomas connection. I think that's one of the best in the conference, and I think it's getting better week by week. And I'm really loving the way Connor is playing. I mean, he's putting some strong games, consecutive games on tape, showing his dual threat ability, real dual threat quarterback. Missed one deep ball earlier, no pressure. I wish he would have hit, but other than that, I think he played a real clean game. And I think with his continuing good play, precision, passing, no turnovers, even more importantly, I think we're gonna be a tough team to beat. And I'm really excited. I mean, like Chris just said, it's winning ways in different sports. Soccer is doing really well. Track is continuing to do what they've been doing in the past seasons. And so basketball is right around the corner, and I'm looking forward to it. Love being a Cougs. I always go Cougs.